r/ask Reddit Watico's the biggest scandal that has not been released to the public yet. Also make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy. Epstein's client list. It'll never happen. If it does, no one will see justice. There goes $1 trillion in wealth to protect there and just the right people to protect it. Not really that it hasn't been released to the public yet, but more the public hasn't really had any reason to notice it yet. A large number of universities run primarily on sham contracting. Basically they hire employees, have them work there, do everything they would expect an employee to do but call them a contractor so they don't get employee rights/benefits/ etc. It's starting to get a lot of light put on it, but I expect it's going to be a big thing in a few years. This is a lot of industries. Recycling and trash are mixed before being sent to the ocean. Why bother remixing them? Let the ocean remix them. It'o's technically been released, but it was largely overlooked because of some other big headlines conveniently released around the same time. MLB used three different balls for the 2022 season, and the ball that travels the furthest just happened to be used almost exclusively during Aaron Judge's games when he was approaching breaking the AL home run record. MLB is such a fucking clown organization. Absolute scumbags from the top down, starting with Manfred. Government-level associations. In the UK, I'd say Philip Schofield grooming and then later employing a young man whilst pretending to be happy married. Apparently there's a super injunction on that one. How frequent Hollywood stars use steroids. Even with years of training, the possible diet and best trainers, some of the results seems very unlikely naturally. Stallone was arrested for illegal possession of human growth hormone. I don't know that anyone would be surprised at others. I came across this recently. Dennis Hope, the man who claimed ownership over the moon and intended on subdividing and selling lands to other people. He found a loophole in the 1967 United Nations Outer Space Treaty which says no country could own the moon, but it says nothing about individuals. So he sent the United Nations a letter declaring ownership and detailing his intent to subdivide and sell the moon, and has never heard back. Since then, he sold more than 611 million acres of land on the moon and many planets. People know that they don't really own the land, legally, but It'o's cheap and looks cool to own a piece of land in outer space. Hope has even sold to 3 former presidents. The man is worth trillions. That's like the people that let you buy a star. Which is pretty much just NFTs. Now these are the type of Ask Reddit question I come here for. Not the Redditors who sex. Do you sex when sexing the sex? Definitely sex. Not a scandal as much a phenomenon not being discussed is how our sense of reality is being warped and distorted through a complex storm of poor journalism due to inexperienced and underfunded organizations, corporate interests' push towards social media engagement with a war over audience attention, and the publicaco's rising media illiteracy. Ironically, it won't be discussed because they are too incompetent to write on it. This problem with former presidents going home with classified documents has been going on forever because of lack of oversight. What does a rich man do when low-paid people are trying to stop him? Bribery. Ivana Trump didn't die from falling down the stairs. I'm pretty sure that her coffin, literally buried at Trump's golf course, is lined with top-secret documents. The truth behind Updog. Watico's Updog. Honestly, probably something no one suspects. Conversely, something everyone expects. Dash. But on an entirely separate note. A fun little thought occurs to me when it comes to American politics. Specifically the law of projection. Wherein Republicans are always actually doing whatever they claim anyone they dislike is doing. It can take years for the evidence to surface, but the louder and more bizarre the claim, the more likely the person shouting from the rooftops is somehow involved. As a result, I'm waiting for the truth to come out about things like cannibalism and alike. They keep insisting after all, so. Companies purporting carbon neutrality is some sort of folly. ESG is one of the biggest lies in corporate America, probably worldwide. I love the thought of companies going carbon neutral, but the fact is that there is no true measurement of it, so companies just make it up. They outsource the process and claim they just reduced carbon emissions. No, you just moved it to a third party. Now every company has these 2025 or 2030 goals. Companies will soon start setting up companies and move their highest pollution segments there so they can fraudulently report that they hit their targets. I'm kind of waiting for the FBI surveillance tapes of Martin Luther King in 2027. Evidently there's at least one tape where milk eggs on another man who is raping a civil rights worker in a hotel room. I wonder if that's true. What do we do with Martin Luther King Day? https://news.yahoo.com/martin-luther-king-laughed-luther-friend-fbi-fraud-145714868.html. Move it to Nick at Night. Politicians are making the middle class/poor pay for most global warming measures, and many of those measures are just virtue signaling. My town just told us we can't use any gas-powered gardening tools, including chainsaws. And all new construction will not have natural gas. Natural gas is high this year due to the war, and greed, but usually natural gas is the only way to cheaply heat a house. Electric heating is inefficient, and highly expensive. Most of us can barely afford a used ice vehicle, but they expect us to go out and buy an electric vehicle? I'm not against global warming measures, but feared the middle/poor would be stuck with the bill, and it's turning out that way. I'm too tired to go on today. Who ate my leftovers? I'll be right over to finish them off. Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. That an entire aircraft full of passengers can just disappear in our modern world really trips me out. Epstein list, Wall Street naked shorts. Weckl find out about 2 days prior to the 2024 elections. Hedge funds selling billions worth of stocks they don't own to manipulate share price. How the government works with big tech to spy on us, and has backdoors built into all of our electronics to spy on us. Sad thing is this has already been released to the public. We just don't seem to really care. Mel Gibson killed a woman during the production of Apocalypto. On purpose. Bill Gates was an Epstein client. It's been well publicized, Melinda has talked about it on camera. PP tapes. Whatever interfering, world police, war crime BS, the CIA is currently pulling that one be declassified for another 50 years. Aliens or some other abstract species does exist, and the small amount of footage that has been released is just the tip of the iceberg of the world government's knowledge of it. Would no doubt it? Plastic causes cancer. I posit that all the nuclear bomb testing increased cancer rates across the globe since it started. The systematic brainwashing of humanity by elite forces with no chance in or out of hell of succeeding in their pathetic endeavors. I like your hope and moxie, kid. Black Lives Matter started out legit but has now become a multimillion-dollar corporation enriching a few people. Thatico's been public knowledge for years now, Yukari just late. The fact that Washington, D.C. technically isn't even in the USA. The treaty to end the War of 1812 didn't give D.C. back to the USA. So Washington, D.C. is technically British soil. That's not how occupation works. If the U.S. never signed D.C. over to the British, they don't need to sign anything to take it back. That the United States military was responsible, by accident, not by a malicious attack, for the explosion of TWA Flight 800 on July 17, 1996, and the deaths of all 230 people on board. This is unsubstantiated, and second-hand information. I hold the source as very credible. Tobey Maguire and Leonardo DiCaprio had sex with multiple high school-age children whilst filming The Great Gatsby. Parents were paid hush money before the police could get involved. Nice try, FBI. I don't know, it hasn't been released yet. Chicken of the sea isn't really chicken. Jessica Simpson _still_ doesn't know, and this is gonna go over the heads of a lot of people who didn't watch that shitty Jessica/Nick reality show back in the early 2000s. Trump caught on camera getting peed on by Russian hookers during a 2011 Moscow business trip. No fucking way, LOL. Source. One of the head women behind the Me Too movement is a pedophile. She worked with a young boy on a film and had an inappropriate close relationship with him. They returned to do the sequel and he was a young teenager. She then made sexual advances on him. Asia Argento, it's not a secret. The price of beef is intentionally being raised so that we stop eating it, only the rich will be able to afford it. The one with Dwayne Johnson has some seriously fucked up shit in it. Now I'm intrigued, can you tell me more or give a link? My proof that my ex was with me and his fiancée at the same time. She probably knows already.